Hi guys, what's up? Give it up for your host one more time, guys. It may not look that way, but Toby and I actually have a lot in common. We both went to USC, we both work in commercial real estate, and people thought we were gay in high school. Only difference is Toby hasn't figured out that they were kind of right yet. It's true, Toby and I do co-produce another show, and I helped out with this one a little bit. I've been keeping time in the back, and I also carried this 3 blocks from my car. Yeah, Thank you so much. I do so much for the community. As I was standing on the intersection, hands wrapped around this, I'm like, wow, I'm sure my parents would be really proud to see me on the pole working the corner. Almost as proud as this makes them. No, you might not be able to guess this by my presence here, but I do have a good relationship with my father. Yeah, he's always like, if a guy ever breaks your heart, I'll beat them up. But I tend to like guys that are, how do I say this, twinkish. So whenever I ask him to do that, he thinks I'm asking him to commit a hate crime, right? Yeah, have any of you guys ever been to Amsterdam? Yeah? I don't know if I want to hear about your trip to Amsterdam. You're gonna hear about mine though. I went to Amsterdam about 2 years ago, and I would say the highlight of my trip was going to a sex show. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's when you pay to watch people fuck in front of you. Yeah, maybe I should, whatever. I mean, maybe just a regular weekend for some of you, I don't know. Yeah, in Amsterdam, no $2 chuck, it's just $50 cuck. $50. I paid $50 for that show, which is not even the craziest part. The craziest part is they brought up people from the audience to participate. Talk about crowd work, am I right? I did get brought up stage. I guess the sex worker saw something in me or wanted to see something inside of me. She brought us all up on stage, and it was 5 of us, and she danced with each of us, and when it was my turn, she reached out and grabbed my boobs and goes, "These are nice." I said thank you, because, who am I to deny a compliment from someone who's probably an expert in that field, right? Afterwards, she put us all on this conga line, and I was the last in line. I'm standing at the back, and I feel someone start to grab my ass, and I'm like, who the fuck is grabbing my ass? Everyone's in front of me. I see her out of the corner of my eye. I turn around, and I shit you not, come face to face with a guy in a fucking gorilla suit. Long story short, that's the last time I asked the universe for crazy animal sex. I'm trying to do new jokes, I'm working on my craft. I don't really like when people use that to describe anything, especially comedy. I think it's really cringy. Crafts are for fucking 6-year-olds, right? Although I guess comedians and 6-year-olds they have a little bit in common, right? Besides everyone hiding in the back. You can always tell whose parents did a really bad job. There's always one kid trying to put shit up his nose. And there's always one kid to be like, "No, Jacob, don't touch her. Hands to yourself." If he doesn't behave, he gets put in timeout for 10 minutes. Not much longer than that, though. Are we having a good 2025? Yeah? That was a mixed bag. I'm also having a mixed bag, all things considered. The wildfires, whatever. I mean, I had higher hopes because 2024 was a little bit of a rough year for me. I was a little bit depressed. I started working. I also found out that I'm allergic to tequila. I know, it's really bad. I mean, there's worse things. It's not it's gluten or dairy or something like that. It is pretty bad considering I went out every weekend and tequila was my drink of choice. Yeah, I'd be in the club with my friends oh my God, tequila drunk is just so different. Yeah, because I was having an allergic reaction. I'd be oh my God, can I hit your pen? I meant their EpiPen. I found out I have a lot of really weird niche allergies, including cilantro. Allergic to tequila and cilantro, that's what I call internalized racism. It's not just me though, it's the rest of my family, the racism. No, the weird allergies, my mom's allergic to parsley, basil, oregano, my sister's allergic to green onion and celery. We're so white that we're allergic to flavor. Since I have all these niche allergies, I've been put on the brat diet by my doctor, so now I'm only allowed to shop at Erewhon. I just finished a book on Al-Qaeda. I know. Reading a book. Ugh. No, it was actually really interesting because apparently Bin Laden ran Al-Qaeda like a fucking corporation. Like, he gave them salary, paid time off, and healthcare. I'm not kidding. Like, talk about benefits, right? They even had DEI. Although they spelled it a little different. They spelled it D-I-E. I've been going through a little bit of a dry spell recently, so I haven't been, like weed whacking as much. No blowjobs or hand jobs. The only job this bush is getting is an inside job. I love that joke because regardless of whether it bombs or hits, I can say mission accomplished afterwards. When it comes to men, I don't really think I have like a physical type. I kind of approach men the way one would like a stock portfolio. I like to diversify my assets in order to mitigate risk, No, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of like a little bit of a white man's whore. Although sometimes I go for men who are a little bit darker features, like maybe Middle Eastern or like Mexican. So I guess my type can be best described as Chipotle mayonnaise. Does anyone here work in finance? Okay. I think this is what they mean when they say know your audience. I feel like, okay, does anyone use dating apps? How about that? Okay, that was a little bit more enthusiastic. Yay. Oh, I use dating apps too. I feel like putting yourself on a dating app, it feels like you're a company that's about to go public, right? Like, your initial public offering is often very promising. You have lots of bidders. People have great things to say about you. You're feeling great. You're on top of the world. A couple of months go by. Not as many bidders. Your assets have slowly depreciated. Your investors' parents want to know if they're going to see their returns at year end. And you're just feeling really kind of like shit unless some guy on Reddit decides to light you up every once in a while. I was recently in Hawaii and I saw J.K. Rowling on the beach. Yeah. It's better known as surf and turf. Took a minute. See, a lot of my jokes, I'm told that they're like thinkers, they're like a little bit wordplay, whatever. I like to say that they're growers, not showers. What else did I want to do? Okay, here's my impression. Here's my impression of Rene Descartes if you were gay. I twink, therefore I am. I love comedy so much. Really makes me feel like I'm the only girl in the world sometimes. I have realized recently that I'm a little bit of a minority in the comedy scene, but not because I'm a woman, just because I don't hate myself right now. I guess it makes sense though, because comedy is so masculine, and for my whole life I've had a lot of masculine traits. Like, I hate using directions, I like to drink beer, I used to be addicted to lesbian porn, I drink beer. I will say though, doing this has made me a little bit more aware of my gender. I went to a mic once and some guy was talking about how he had lost 20 pounds. I was like, oh my God, you look great, like congratulations. I was a little bit confused because when I lost 20 pounds, no one really said anything. I kind of just started getting groped a lot more. Yeah, you know who you are. Okay, I have this, sometimes when I do stand-up, I stutter a little bit, and, it's kind of bad, because, I'll be at a roast battle, kind of sounding like Joe Biden at a presidential debate. Yeah, I didn't study that enough for this test today. Let's see, what do I want to do? I think it's really funny when people who have, a 5 or a 6 of a face are like, face card. I'm like, sure, I guess it's a card, but the card's more like EBT, and that it's only accepted at select retailers. For me personally, though, I shouldn't be so obnoxious. I think my face card's kind of like a Visa gift card. My relatives say it'll work wherever, and then I go out and try to use it, and that's not really the case. We got any liberals in here? No, I'm just kidding. I just went to my sister's graduation in Vermont. She goes to Middlebury College. Thank you so much. Does anybody know anyone been to Vermont? Familiar with? Yeah. Familiar with Middlebury? Yeah. It's a very liberal institution. They did a land acknowledgement at the graduation. I think that that's a really funny trend, especially at schools like USC. I went to USC. All of the fucking syllabuses had land acknowledgements in them. They're like, we would like to acknowledge the peoples who were once here, who took care of this land. And I'm like, okay, what about the people that you're actively gentrifying? They're like, we would like to not acknowledge that. Please don't bring that up. We don't want to talk about it. What do I want to leave you with? I used to think I was gay for a little while, last year. I don't think that's it. I think I might just be scared of penises, which in retrospect makes sense because the first time I gave head, the Twilight Zone was on in the background. So now I feel like whenever like a guy drops his pants and my brain is just like, you're now entering the Twilight Zone. All right, you guys have been great. Thank you so much.